Hello and welcome to A Quest for Metal. Today we are reacting to bad reviews again, and we're doing the mighty Opeth, my favourite band of all time, and we're doing Blackwater Park, one of the best prog metal albums of all time, and, you know, a fucking classic in the genre, and one of my favourite albums. I love all the songs on it. I think it's a masterpiece, although I think all Opeth albums are a masterpiece, so I'm going to get triggered whatever happens. So how this video works: we're going to look at some bad reviews from Metal Archives. We're going to read them out. It's all random as well. I've never seen these before. We're just going to go through on the spot, read them, and if it is trigger-worthy and we get triggered, we lose, basically. It's a you trigger, you lose challenge as well. 2 for 1. But yeah, Opeth Blackwater Park. Let's get into the reviews. So first up, a guy called Face Your Fear 79. First one I saw. It's a 40%, which is quite low. Less than half. It's less than a 5. Blackwater Park, you're off your fucking rocker. But let's read it. He might have some valid points. Okay. I know prog metal and rock has always been rather self-indulging, but seriously? I'd rather listen to, say, 4 20-minute Yes songs or 90 minutes of Dream Theater instrumentals than this big piece of nothing. Hopefully he tells me why it's nothing. Because it doesn't really explain a lot, because there is a lot of substance in Blackwater Park. It's not just a bunch of nothing, but maybe he'll explain it. I mean, it's obvious that everyone in here is technically very proficient, but it'd be better if they put them to use elsewhere. What would you suggest? It lacks any impact whatsoever, and it's painfully boring. Painfully boring? You'd rather listen to Yes and Dream Theater, and I love those bands, but, like, have you heard the song Blackwater Park? Did you hear the song The Drapery Falls? How is any of this boring? These songs are, like, intense. The death growls are, like, so in your face. How is any of it boring? There's so many different changes in each song to keep it fresh and interesting that boring is just something that I can't fucking fathom. I can't fucking fathom. I think, like, generic fucking metalcore is boring. You have the same fucking riffs all the way through, and it's fine. I enjoy it. This is different all the time, so how the fuck is it boring? Alright, I'm not triggered yet. Let's carry on. There's pointless acoustic sections fucking everywhere. You must hate Harvest then, because that's an entire acoustic song. The only thing about this album that I find in any way memorable is how ridiculously pretentious it is. The Drapery Falls? Wow, man, that's fucking deep. Oh, he's cute. He then goes on to compare it to MTV, and then says it's about as real as, like, Cradle of Filth's Corpse Paint. Now, I love Cradle of Filth as well, so you can get a double fuck you for that. He's saying, basically, to summarise this one, he's saying the band's pretentious, he's saying the songs are boring, they don't go anywhere, they'd be better put to use elsewhere. And I wholeheartedly disagree. I think the songs are very engaging, very interesting. The singing is just the best ever. The amount of changes, the amount of riffs, the killer riffs in this, come on. And Mikkel's growls are just the best in the game. But I can understand if he prefers Bloodbath, you know, or something like that. Sure, maybe this album isn't for you. Maybe prog in general isn't for you. But why does he like Yes and Dream Theater? This just seems like needless shitposting, to be honest. Needless shitposting, because he says 2 other bands which are arguably more boring, I would say. They don't have death growls. They don't have, like, really fucking heavy riffs. So I don't know why they get a pass and this doesn't. If he said all prog, then his point would be more valid. But his point is not fucking valid, because he likes them but not this. It's just his problem with Opeth. He has a fucking hate boner for Opeth, yeah? That's it. So his entire point can go into the fucking trash. Okay, this one gives it a 17%. 17%? What the fuck has he got to say? Let's see. His name is Acrobat. 17%, that's ridiculous. He says Opeth fans don't know the difference between AC/DC albums and Motorhead albums. He thinks they all sound the same. But to him, in his mind, Opeth albums all sound the same. First of all, Heritage sounds fucking nothing like Orchid, and Orchid sounds fucking nothing like Damnation. First of all, one's like fucking atmospheric-y black metal, you got like death metal, and then you've got whatever the fuck Heritage is, like jazzy prog rock? Jazzy prog rock? How are they the same? They are not the same at all. But I love Motorhead, and I love AC/DC-ish. So, he's talking shit. He's listened to 4 Opeth albums, and he calls all of them dishwater grey. How dull they are. Dishwater grey dull. It says dreary modern progressive metal. It's unexciting, overlong, tedious, boring, and any other extended list of words for being absolutely sleep-inducing. You gotta admit, he's a wordsmith. So, credit for that. He says Opeth is marketed to virginal 20-something men with beards, and then he says that's a tad unfair. Some of them do have fat girlfriends with mothering breasts. Oh, this is funny. This isn't even triggering. This is just funny. This guy's funny. Okay, we have a famous name now who appeared in another list, and I think he might be a troll. I'm not too sure. He might just have really fucking shitty opinions, but his name is Ultra Boris, and he's famous on the archives, and let's hear what he has to say. His score is a 3%. 3% out of 100 for Blackwater Park. Let's see what insightful commentary he has. Opeth takes the modern approach to metal to the possible extreme. Some features of modern metal include random death vocals that do not make sense with the music, and too many ideas just thrown in that also don't make any sense, and also interesting riffage that takes a back seat to pseudo-random sounding guitar patterns that are far too repetitive. But if it's like pseudo-random? What is he talking about? He's just dribbling. He's had an aneurysm. He's just dribbling out nonsense. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He's had a stroke. And one side of his body doesn't work, and this is what he's doing. He's trying to type, he can't. He's just spouting nonsense. This is definitely not death metal, no matter what someone says. You tell me Harvest is metal. It's a silly acoustic interlude that managed to be 6 minutes long, but contained about 1 minute worth of ideas. Don't shit talk Harvest, that shit is beautiful. Sure, it's not death metal. I can say that it's not death metal, it's an acoustic song on a progressive death metal album. Yeah, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that it's not a death metal song. Oh, then he fucking goes, do yourself a favour and listen to Iron fucking Maiden instead. Now, Iron Maiden's one of my favourite bands of all time, but why is he doing this? Why is this guy just so up his own fucking shit stick? All he can think of is the past. All he likes is Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath. He doesn't like anything else. What it seems like, he doesn't like anything that isn't in the fucking 80s and 70s. Leper Affinity, the guitar work is just plain lifeless. No edge to it. It's just kinda there. Again, to reiterate my point, he then refers back to a band, Wasp, and says, listen to Wasp Thunderhead. Now that is emotional right there. This, well, I can't remember any of it. So he's definitely had a stroke. He can't remember shit. This is not heavy metal. This is not the way metal was supposed to be played. Nothing comes out screaming, on your knees. I want you on your knees. He's gone mad. Metal is supposed to be impressive and majestic and arouse me into a battle frenzy. Not this. Arouse me into a battle frenzy? He's been listening to too much Manowar. Too much Manowar, this guy. Although he'll probably say they aren't metal as well. If you've heard one song off the album, you've heard it all. This album lacks all the features that make metal great. It's not heavy, it's not fast, it's not furious or exciting, it lacks the pummeling riffs of Black Sabbath. The screaming soloing of Judas Priest. It's not even distorted. Hell, even Molecore can accomplish that. And this just has one passage at the end of Bleak, which is really over-distorted and awful. There you go, he just reiterated my point. He just started talking about heavy riffage of Black Sabbath. Fuck off. That's some tame-ass shit. It's good. I like them. But Dio's better. I like Black Sabbath, you know. They're great. I love Judas Priest. They're amazing. But get a fucking grip, Grandpa. Get a fucking grip. There's more bands than the ones in the fucking 80s. This is funny. This one's funny. The Drapery Falls, yeah? Yeah, the Drapery Falls, a really classic song, an amazing song, has some really awful vocals around 2:30. I swear, if I hear a singer breathe, I will flip out. Learn some techniques so you don't exhale into the mic. That just sounds unprofessional. He's talking shit about Mikkel. Oh, this guy. He just said, a riff in Dirge for November rips off For Whom the Bell Tolls. Metal rips off everyone, so I'm not even gonna talk about that one. And he sums it up. This is the summary. There are precisely 0 really fucking memorable riffs here. In fact, most of the riffs aren't even metal riffs. They sound like badly recycled 70s rock riffs. Didn't I hear a Pink Floyd album once that kind of almost sounded like this, but sucked far, far less? I want to punch this guy. I'd love to get worked up about this album and like shout it and shit, but I can't. It's put me to fucking sleep, which must be the most damning thing, because metal isn't supposed to be a fucking lullaby. That's his closing statement, which is pretty funny. It hasn't triggered me. This hasn't triggered me. I think it's quite funny, but stop living in the fucking past. Stop living in the past, Boris. Stop living in the fucking past. So those were just a couple of the reviews I found in Metal Archives. The worst ones, the ones I could find that just dribbled nonsense. And it was fun to read through them. Nothing really triggered me though. Hopefully you guys didn't get triggered by any of these reviews. If you hate Opeth, good for you. Not everyone likes the same shit. That's the glory of subjectivity. There's bands out there for everyone. This one just happens to be for me. But don't be like Ultra Boris or any of these fuckers. Don't just fucking start shit posting reviews online saying that it puts you to sleep and shit. Fuck that. So hopefully you didn't get too triggered. Put in the comments below what your favourite song is from Blackwater Park, what your favourite Opeth album is, and all the good stuff. And if you hate them, tell me why. Do you think they're boring and meandering? Do you hate Mikhail's breathing on Drapery Falls? What the fuck was that about? Do you prefer Yes? Would you rather listen to 50 minutes of Dream Theater instrumentals than one single Opeth song? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.